In this video, we will be able to discuss another plant hormones that are gibberellins, their discovery, their chemical constitutions, their biosynthesis, transport of gibberellins, mode of gibberellin action, and last one, the physiological effects of plant hormones gibberellins. So gibberellins are the plant growth hormones which enhance the longitudinal growth of stem. When we apply the gibberellins to the intact plant. However, gibberellins do not enhance the growth of isolated plant parts. The presence of meristematic cells is necessary for the elongation growth caused by gibberellins. Discovery. Gibberellins were first discovered in 1926 by a Japanese plant pathologist named Kurosawa. While the scientist was working in the rice fields, he observed that some of the rice seedlings they grew much taller than the others, and such plants they were found to be infected by the fungus that is Gibberella fusariae. It is the perfect state of an imperfect fungus that is Fusarium moniliforme, and the disease which it caused, it was known as the Bakani disease. And the Bakani in Japanese it means foolish disease. The seedlings grew foolishly so tall that they ultimately resulted into the death of the plants. Another scientist, Yabuta in 1935 and Yabuta and Sumiki in 1938 demonstrated that some substance must have been secreted by the fungus, and it was probably responsible for the elongation growth of the seedlings. Afterwards, they successfully isolated the substance from the culture filtrate of the fungus, that is Gibberella fusariae, in a crystalline form and named it as a GA, that is gibberellic acid. Following intensive studies, it was found that there are actually at least 6 gibberellins which were found in the mixture, and they were named as GA1, GA2, GA3, GA4, GA7 and GA9. Till now, about 84 different gibberellins are known, out of which about 25 gibberellins have been isolated from the fungus Gibberella fusariae, and another 73 they have been reported from the higher plants. Chemical constitution of the gibberellins. All the different types of gibberellins are known so far. They bear a gibbane skeleton which have been shown in the figure. The individual members differ with each other in their side attachment of various groups such as OH group, COOH group, etc. Now, mode of action. Unlike auxin, gibberellins they appear to involve in an alteration of an enzyme synthesis in the plants. It has been observed that the level of DNA and RNA in the tissues of dwarf plants is increased when the plant was treated with gibberellic acid, and the production of more mRNA results in the synthesis of new enzymes which ultimately cause the growth effects. Gibberellic acid induces the synthesis of various hydrolytic enzymes such as alpha amylase, protease, ribonuclease and other hydrolytic enzymes present in cereals, grains, especially in barley. A detailed study showed that treatment of GA3 causes an increase in RNA content in a number of plant tissue due to an increase in RNA polymerase enzyme. Gibberellic acid also increases the template availability for the synthesis of mRNA, probably in the presence of some of the factor which controls the gene expression at transcription, post-transcription, translation and post-translation levels. Transport of gibberellins in the plants. Unlike the auxins, transport of gibberellins is non-polar, whereas the transport of auxins was polar. Gibberellins move from one part to the another part of the plant through the phloem, similar to the transport of carbohydrates and other organic substances in the plants. Gibberellic acid is translocated in the xylem portion also due to the lateral movement between the two vascular bundles. Now coming to the biosynthesis of gibberellins. Gibberellins are synthesized inside the plastids of immature seeds, young leaves or even in the roots. They are synthesized by the mevalonic acid pathway. First of all, geranyl pyrophosphate produced from the mevalonic acid pathway, it serves as a donor of carbon atoms to the gibberellin skeleton. Now the geranyl pyrophosphate is converted to the copalyl pyrophosphate in the presence of enzyme copalyl pyrophosphate synthase. Now the copalyl pyrophosphate in the presence of enzyme corine synthase is converted into another compound, that is corine. Now this compound corine is further oxidized in the endoplasmic reticulum portion of the cell in the presence of enzyme corine oxidase and is converted into another compound, that is corinol. Now corinol is further oxidized in the presence of enzyme corine oxidase and corinol compound is formed. Now corinol is further oxidized in the presence of again corine oxidase and form corinoic acid. Corinoic acid is further oxidized by corinoic acid oxidase to form 7-hydroxycorinoic acid. Now 7-hydroxycorinoic acid is finally oxidized by corine oxidase to form a Ga12 aldehyde, which further gets metabolized by 3 separate pathways to produce different forms of gibberellins. Now physiological effects of gibberellins. First physiological effect which is very prominent in plants, it is the elongation of stem. Gibberellins produce extraordinary elongation of stems and leaf sheaths in intact plants. Many seedlings such as tomato, lettuce, radish, etc., when they were grown in petri dish containing gibberellic acid solution, they show marked elongation of hypocotyle portion. The elongation of stem is caused due to the cell division and cell elongation which was induced by gibberellic acid. Second prominent phenomena which is caused by gibberellins, it is reversal of dwarfism. One of the most striking effect of gibberellins is the reversal of dwarfism in many genetically dwarf plants. Rosette plant of sugar beet When it was treated with gibberellic acid, it underwent marked longitudinal growth of axes. Similarly, dwarf pea, dwarf corn attained almost normal size when they were treated with gibberellins. Extensive studies have been made which indicate that the dwarf plants have very low gibberellic acid level, which we appear to account for its dwarfing habit. Thus, when we externally applied the gibberellins to such plants, it caused rapid elongation growth. Next phenomena is bolting and flowering. Certain plants show profuse leaf development but reduced internode growth. Such form of growth is called rosette, where a large number of broad leaves remain attached to a very short axis. It has been observed that such plants exhibit excessive internode growth just before reproduction. The axis elongates about 5 to 6 times the original height of the plant and started flowering. Stimulation in this internode growth just before the reproduction is known as bolting. Usually such plants require specific long day photoperiods or specific cold requirements to bolt and flower, and if such plants are treated with gibberellins during conditions of rosette growth, the plant will bolt and flower under the effect of gibberellins. Therefore, gibberellins treatment stimulate the cell division and cell elongation in the subapical portion of the stem, which causes elongation of axis, which is known as the bolting phenomena. Bolting consequently resulting into flowering, thus the flowering is an indirect result of gibberellin treatment. Another phenomena which we commonly observe it is the substitution of the cold treatment. Many biennial plants usually produce flowers in the second year of growth after passing through a winter season. Such plants can substitute the requirement of cold treatments and can be made to flower in 1 year by the treatment of gibberellic acid. Another phenomena is the cell division in cambium. It has been demonstrated that gibberellins can stimulate cell division in the vascular cambium of many deciduous trees in the spring season. Parthenocarpy is another phenomena which we can observe by the treatment of gibberellic acid. So, parthenocarpy is the formation of seedless fruits without fertilization, and it can be induced by the gibberellin treatment in many of the plants such as tomatoes, apple, cucumber, etc. And there are examples where auxins were ineffective and gibberellins they proved to be very effective in causing this phenomena of parthenocarpy. For example, in the fruits of palm and certain stone fruits. Next is seed germination. Some of the light sensitive seeds such as the seeds of Lactuca sativa, they can germinate with the treatment of gibberellic acid even when they are present in the complete dark conditions, which otherwise require specific light conditions to germinate. Breaking of seed dormancy. Gibberellins have also been shown to break the dormancy in certain seeds and certain other parts of the plants such as potato tubers. The dormancy of tree buds during the winter conditions can also be broken by the exogenous supply of gibberellins. De novo synthesis of hydrolytic enzymes, that is the new synthesis of certain hydrolytic enzymes by the external applications of gibberellins. In this phenomena, gibberellic acid induces a new synthesis, that is de novo synthesis of various hydrolytic enzymes such as alpha amylase, ribonuclease, beta 1,3 glucanase, and protease in the aileron layer of grains of barley. This has been experimentally proven by isolating the aileron layer and treating it with gibberellin solution. These enzymes are shown to be mobilized to the endospermic portion during germination and hydrolyze the storage reserve food material present in the grain. Some of the other effects which gibberellins are known to cause are promotion of flowering in long day plants even under short day conditions, that is during non-inductive periods, formation of male flowers on genetically female plants, for example in case of cannabis or commonly known as bhang plant, replacement of female flowers with male flowers on monoecious plants that are bisexual ones, for example in case of cucurbits, stimulation of pollen germination and growth of pollen tubes in some of the species. So this was all about the plant hormone gibberellins. Thank you.